Hello and welcome to this week's episodes of The Calling. Follow your spirit all the way in. I'm your host, Homaya. Join me in this journey of self-awareness, soul frequencies, and spiritual revelations. Let's fly. Hello and blessings, beauties. Welcome to episode 2 of season 3 of the Calling podcast, inspired by one of my most important masterclasses, The Healer. In this episode, we open a deep truth about what healing is, shifting away from fixing symptoms and chasing root cause stories into reunification with the divine, because this is what healing truly is. Healing is an awakening. It is an expansion of consciousness beyond a mental narrative. This episode is also an invitation to clear shame and guilt stories that you might still carry, to support you to lead, create, and be aligned with your light. So, wherever you're now, as you're diving into this transmission, take a deep breath, connect, open your heart, open your energetic bodies, and allow yourself to receive. Get the full download, listen with your heart. Let the transmission do what it is here for. Welcome. When I started giving healing sessions, I had a very, very strong prayer. I understood at that time already very clearly that I'm not here to work with symptoms. To fix that or fix that doesn't really support me. It doesn't nourish my soul. It doesn't amplify my power. It's far away from being the truth. And I was so intrigued and activated to get the original cause. So I had a prayer, and I prayed it every day. And that prayer was for my system to be able to recognize the original cause. I wanted to understand why there is a distortion, why this person is having this disease. What is the storytelling? What is happening there? And that was such a strong prayer. I wanted to crack that code as fast as I can. For me, that was the representation of being a good healer. I knew that after that, it's the work of God. I just need to be able to coordinate the space and to know how to move in that space in the presence of the seeing that exists. And what I say is that, what I saw at that time is that the beginning was, I want to understand what is the original cause, and I could get to some things that were psychological. What the mother have done, what the father have done, what was the history. And then I could go deeper, and I could see some past lives, and I could see some things from the Akashic, and it was like, wow, this is quite interesting. But as I continue also in my teaching and being with a lot of healers and seeing the thought forms and seeing the way that we look, and also doing hours and hours and hours of meditations and spiritual practices, I gradually had the realization that God is the original cause. God is the original cause of everything. To say it now feels, of course. What were you thinking? But I am sure that also you, a few moments ago, when I was sharing about what is the original cause, why this disease started to be with that person. And I'm sure that you had those questions inside of you. You are looking for the problem. Let's trace the problem to the beginning, where the problem started. When I felt that I am expanding with ease into really seeing God, divinity, and the infinite nature of it, and I was able to hold inside of my consciousness that power, please take a deep breath, I could see that although I'm searching for an original cause, that it is one point, and that what point is the entire world. And my job as a healer, the one that moves energy and direct energy from God to God through me and through you, is to be able to hold that actually the meaning of healing is reuniting with God. That full, deep, transformative, everlasting healing is not searching the story, is not searching for where did it started, what the mother have done, what the father have done, what happened when she was 16, what happened when she was 5, what happened in past life. That it is still symptoms. It's still storytelling. That energetic healing is nothing to do with fixing. It has nothing to do with Western medicine. Nothing to do with it. It's not about treating symptom. It's not about creating ease, although we will treat the symptom and we will create ease as we go. But it is actually allowing and supporting and guiding and creating the conditions for one individual to be aligned with the divine, to be in full presence and extension of God. And please breathe and get the potency of it. Get the strength that comes from it, and get the realization what it means about us as healers. Our job is to bring things full circle again. From the unknown and the unmatter, through the matter to the unknown. And in that circulation, in that flow, in that level of awareness, we humans are being transformed. We are being upgraded. The true healing is not resolving symptom. True healing is not going to the place where something started, a story started. A true healing is saying goodbye to the story and eventually saying goodbye to all the stories. And please breathe. True healing is awakening. True healing is living in truth. And that as much as we are able to be in that truth, we are removing the limitation on our perspective. We are removing the glass ceiling that we have above our head. I want to be liberated from the story. I want to be liberated from any story. I can have compassion to the stories. I can have understanding that they exist. I can have awareness of the stories. But I'm not necessarily going to hold them and choose them as truth. Because there is a bigger truth. There's a vaster truth, which is where all the stories were born from. The expansion of consciousness is the true healing. And that comes in layer. It doesn't end. There's more and more and more. I feel like telling you a story. I know some of you already heard that, but in that context, I feel that this is really important to hear it again. One time, a person called me and asked to learn something from me that other teachers also teach. And she asked me, how much do you charge? And I gave her my price, which was most likely, I don't know how much other teachers are charging, but most likely my price was double and triples the rest of the teachers. And she said, how come you're charging other people like that? Other people are charging completely different price. And I said, you're not paying for the knowledge. You're paying for the transmission. If my consciousness, when I give you a certain teaching, is able to see what is possible and what is not possible, what I can create and what I cannot create, according to a certain story that I'm telling myself, which is an extension to the stories that I'm telling myself about what is possible for me in life, about the stories that I had, about everything, then I would not be able to take you far more than the stories that I have. That would be the glass ceiling that I hold. But if I overcame my money issues. I moved from charging 20 or 4 euros per session to have a multi-six-figure business. Then we are having different conversations when we are having conversations around money and what is possible. If I traveled the world and initiated teachers all around the world, or if I just worked with one client at a time, we have a different conversation of what is possible and what is impossible. If I healed myself from being wounded in ways that are hard to describe, that will make you cry just to hear, to become someone who teach others and guide others how to win, those are different conversations. So you're not charging about the knowledge. You're charging about the transmission. And your work as a healer is not to gain the knowledge. This is first thing, gain the knowledge, understand what you're doing, what you're teaching, how does it work, level 1. Level 2, master it. Level 2, also transform from it. Make it something incredible. Let it transform you to the max. Go with it until the heaven and beyond what is known. Let it really take you to your mightiness, and let that come as part of your teachings. Because if I would teach a class about being a healer 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or 15 years ago, although I was a healer all those time, that would be a completely different class, correct? Do you agree? It will be a completely different class. What makes the difference? Of course, I have more experience. Of course, I have seen more people. Of course. Okay, great. But what I have done with healing, this makes the difference. The way that I apply it, the way that I played with it, the way that I took it into a massive expansion, that is huge. I let it heal me. I let it heal my parents. I let it heal my relationship. I let it heal my bank account. I let it heal my business. I let it heal so many things. So when we have conversations about healing, we have a completely different conversation. Homaya today and Homaya few years ago, and it is not because of the time. It's because of what I've done with the time. And please breathe. I want to set myself free from the glass ceiling that I have. And I'm going to set myself free again and again and again and more and more and more, whatever limitation I will find there. And I arrive to meet limitations that are limitation in collective consciousness. In the beginning, I take responsibility. I do have my own limitations in my own pocket. But I see so many times that the limitation that I'm facing sometimes is with the frequency of guilt, with the frequency of shame, with the frequency of inappropriate, which is definitely something stuck in a collective consciousness. And if I feel that, I know 100% that you feel it. If you look at yourself now and you're asking yourself, what is this glass ceiling? What are the stories that you're saying? It could be that for some of you, it's something really personal. Your self-trust, your self-esteem, your self-worth. But it could be that for some of you, it's shame and blame and guilt and embarrassment and feeling inadequate and feeling that you would lose your connections. This is the number one thing to clear. Healing is not going backwards to fix. Healing is going forward to create. So, with that being said, the most important thing in waking up from your stories and being real an extension of the divine for yourself, and then afterwards for your clients as an extension of who you are, is you being in your singularity. As we close episode 2, I want us to complete with a simple truth. Healing is not about fixing. It's not about endless chasing of a story. Healing is awakening. It is returning to what is real, to what is profoundly true, and letting go of anything that is fake and unreal. Let it fall away. In our next conversation, I want to bring you into a word, a frequency that I often use and that open a doorway. Singularity. This is your unique expression of the divine and what becomes illuminated when you reconnect to Source. Take a deep breath. I'll meet you there. Thank you for listening and being part of this great conversation. You will find all the relevant links in the show notes, as well as a link to a meditation for you to feel more connected to your spirit and aligned with your soul contract. Please, if this episode touched you, leave a review, like, and subscribe. Feel comfortable to share it with your friends, family, and colleagues, because everyone has a calling.